Some things never get a sequel. Whether it's the development team breaking up or the game simply not making enough money. Whatever the reason, it's tragic for both the company and the players. But what if the game was a success and the development company is still creating new games? A game that ranks highly on the list of wanting a sequel is Castle Crashers. Fans have been wanting a second installment for well over a decade now. The game was a major success, but the development team don't like making sequels. Hey guys, my name is mccorkindale, but more recently Red Panda. In today's video we're going to talk about the development of Castle Crashers and if we will ever get that sequel we've all been waiting for. After the Behemoth team hit major success with their first indie game, Alien Hominid, they went on to make their second title, Castle Crashers. Originally released for Xbox Live Arcade, the game is about 4 medieval Power Rangers and knights who were on a quest from the king to save the kingdom from the evil wizard who has kidnapped 4 princesses and a mysterious jewel. The game was notably famous for its cooperative play, as you fight alongside 3 of your friends and destroy waves of enemies in the campaign, either locally or online. There are also 2 mini-games, All You Can Quaff and Arena. But before we get into the game too much, we need to take a step back and first look at the development company. Based in San Diego, California, the American video game company became official in the 27th of May 2003. I say official because these guys actually made their first game, Alien Hominid, 9 months prior before they were officially a company. Alien Hominid first began as a flash game that was developed by programmer Tom Fulp and animator Dan Paladin on Newgrounds in August 2002. It's a side-scrolling game where you play as a yellow alien who has to fend off waves of secret agents. Though this version is often referred to as Alien Hominid Prototype by the development company, as it only consisted of 1 level containing 2 bosses. But that didn't stop people from playing it, as it gained a lot of attraction on the online gaming community and has racked up almost 21 million playthroughs to this day. With it being very popular online, John Baez saw an opportunity to bring the game to consoles and pitched the idea to Paladin and Fulp, who both seemed very happy with the idea and decided to publish the game themselves. And so, the Behemoth formed. The team would go on to be recognised for producing simple games in Paladin's signature 2D style, as it would become a staple look for the company. The old side-scroller. After Alien... Scrapping that pirate voice. After Alien Hominid, the Behemoth started working on their second game, Ye Old Side-Scroller, which they released a beta for at the 2005 San Diego Comic-Con, which was shown running on a Nintendo GameCube. There were a lot of changes made from this beta version. The knights were substantially beefier, reaching critical beef level. The enemies were less developed and more generic than the playable characters that we have now. And even the levels have had some major changes to them. It wasn't until 2006 Comic-Con where the title was renamed to the one we all know as Castle Crashers. It was announced for Xbox Live Arcade with no mention of the GameCube release. It wasn't until the 27th of August 2008 when the game would finally be released. The game is a perfect combination of genres, combining both the hack and slash and RPG elements into the game. My issue with most RPG games is that they are so long and boring, where you're just roaming about the map looking for stuff you don't need. Castle Crashers strips away all of the complexity and keeps things simple, making the game fast-paced as you're constantly fighting waves of enemies, and it's surprisingly long for an arcade game of that time. The game starts by allowing you to select one of 4 knights, each character having their own unique ability, such as magic spells. Red, who has the ability to shoot lightning. Originally I thought red was going to be fire, but no. Orange is fire, blue is ice, and green is poison, or as my brother calls them, farts. Hack and slash has never been so appropriate, as you cut your way through enemies, gaining experience points along the way to level up your character. Once you have leveled up, you are allowed to place your experience points into a leveling system that is broken down into 4 categories. Strength, which gives the player a higher attack damage. Magic, which allows the player to cast stronger spells and learn new techniques. Defense, which is obviously your health. And agility, which of course is speed, but also plays an effect with the player's bow, as the speed and range of which you can shoot increases. There are also plenty of items in the game that you can unlock using gold you collect from fallen enemies, chests, or simply by finding them throughout the campaign. Some of these items are purely for story purposes only, such as the compass, wheel, telescope and map, but then there's action items like the bow and arrow and boomerang. Then there's useful items such as the shovel and horn to uncover lost items. You can buy items that vary from shop to shop, such as health potions, bombs, weapons, pets and sandwiches that make you beefy. There's also items that affect your player's stats, such as weapons and pets that are located at the blacksmith. For weapons, you can get anything from a piece of broccoli to a lightsaber. Each of these weapons gives your character certain bonuses, increasing or decreasing your stats. The weapons that you collect in the game are stored inside the weapons frog, and I mean that literally. Animal orbs, or pets, are creatures found throughout the game, which gives you bonuses and enhancements, similar to that of weapons, but with a twist. These are stored in the animal arc. Some pets give you extra added stats, like the beholder, burly bear, or the behemoth chicken. Then there's also pets that have special abilities, such as the bitey bat, which stuns your enemies, the cardinal, that brings you secret items, or the giraffe, which boosts your XP gain. For the game itself, Fulp has stated that several beat-em-up games from the 1980s and 90s influenced the game.
What inspired it? Really, like it goes back to a lot of old school games that we liked growing up. River City Ransom, Guardian Heroes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Simpsons Arcade, Double Dragon, Final Fight, just all that. As
he himself is a big fan of the Neo Geo genre, which is apparent throughout their work. This game was meant to be played with friends. Although it is still fun on your own, it's just not the same. Me and my brothers have always had a friendly rivalry. I say friendly very loosely. When we first played this game together, we would constantly be helping each other out. Hey, here's some gold. Do you need some health? Here's an apple. And then we got up to the barbarian boss. We were banned from playing that game for a week. There were so many cooperative elements to this game, such as fighting to get the kiss from a princess, the chivalrous knight that you are, being able to revive your fallen comrade in arms so you can continue the fight rather than starting the level again. There was also a drop-in, drop-out system online where you could continue from your friends' current checkpoints, if you could connect to them, that is. There was also competitive game modes, such as All You Can Quaff, which was a button bashing game to see who could eat the most scran, and arena battles, where you would settle your disputes on who is the greatest. I don't know why this art captivates me so much. It shouldn't move me the way it does, as it's so simplistic, but something about it just makes me invested. I don't really know how to describe art, as I was never any good at it, but with the gaming industry in general being so focused on having such realistic graphics and textures to a game, this takes away all of that and takes you back to the early days when things were simple, when games were about fun and not having the latest engines. The game itself is all hand-drawn, which honestly brings so much life into the game, as each minor detail is there for a purpose. It's almost like you're playing through a comic book. There's little to no dialogue in the game, and honestly, you wouldn't notice, as the characteristics are so good that you could come up with your own story, as the personalities and humour of these characters comes to life with his drawings. Paladin gets most of his inspiration from the Japanese game River City Ransom, but developed his own unique take on it, which people have now familiarised themselves with when they think of Flash games.
My favourite game is from Japan. In America it is called River City Ransom. Oh yeah! Yeah, when they get hit they make the crazy face and they drop coins, yeah.
put these two categories together as collecting is a big part of the replayability. I'm a collector, some say hoarder. I love a full set of something, whether it's real or virtual, especially when it comes to a game that I enjoy. I must have it all. This game constantly keeps you occupied. Although it isn't that long, it doesn't feel short, as you're roaming about from mark to mark, digging up for a new unlockable. It's impossible to get everything first time round, as you have to use certain items that you get late in the game to access them. Anytime I saw an opportunity to go back and get myself a new weapon or animal orb, I did so. It just felt weird to me going to the blacksmith and having an empty display, like my OCD was kicking in. I need to feel like I've achieved something, you know. Speaking of which, the game also includes achievements to unlock, such as collect all pets, making it all the more reason to. If you have completed the game with a character, you will be presented with a badge on the display screen so you can show off your awesome skills. You will also be allowed to play in save mode, which is a much tougher, much more difficult challenge. And if you complete that, you will be presented with a shiny gold badge. There are a total of 31 unique characters to unlock, 25 being already included, and 6 being implemented through DLC. You can unlock characters in a number of different ways, such as battling in an arena, completing the game with a certain character, or by simply purchasing them. The DLC packs available are King Pack, which was the first DLC released. It includes 2 additional characters, the King and Open-Faced Grey Knight, an animal orb and 2 weapons. They were originally free, but one was taken out and used in a later DLC. Necromantic Pack, by far the most OP pack in the game. It included 2 new characters, that being the boss Necromancer and a cult minion, an animal orb with an additional 2 weapons. Legend of the Blacksmith Pack, which included 1 new playable character, obviously being the blacksmith, and 5 new weapons. It would have been cool if they had a version of the blacksmith without his armour into the DLC, but hey. Pink Knight Pack, which is personally my favourite, born out of popular demand, rumour and Tom Fulp's beard. This lovable guy is ready to bring love. Just look at this cutie. The pack included 1 playable character, obviously being the Pink Knight, along with 6 weapons, most notably famous the Newgrounds Lollipop, which was the weapon removed from the King Pack, and is the Pink Knight's starting weapon. The Knight has a whole array of new tricks, like casting rainbows and launching penguins and pink weasels at your enemies. Wait a minute, I've seen these before. Could it be? No, it couldn't possibly. This and the Blacksmith was made to promote the fight against breast cancer and came free on consoles, but is available on Steam for the price of 99p, with all proceeds going to charity. Aw, cherubs. I don't think I missed anything out, did I? Can't Stop Crying Pack. Hattie Hattington is the character included in the DLC and is from the Behemoth 3rd game, Battle Block Theatre, which was released on the 3rd of April 2013 and on Steam the 15th of May 2014. This pack was released as a way to promote the game. Similar to Hattie being available on Castle Crashers, the Knights were also made available on Battle Block Theatre. You could buy this DLC by either purchasing it on consoles or by purchasing the full game on Steam. The pack is probably the weakest as it has the least amount of content, only including 1 character, an animal orb and a weapon. While doing the research for this project, I found so much trivia and Easter eggs around Castle Crashers and the Behemoth team that wouldn't really fit in any other section, so I put them into their own section. Alien Hominid. This character was originally set to be available by the purchase of Alien Hominid. As the development team had no way of knowing who had previously owned the game, they scrapped the idea and made it free, and is obtainable by completing the alien spaceship level, which is obviously homage to their previous game. The character comes equipped with its lance weapon based on its ray gun, and also has an unlockable pet in the mission, Install Ball. This is better than the Can't Stop Crying pack, and it was made free! There's also a cool Easter egg on the mission, where if you go left instead of right at the beginning, you will see the Behemoth team in tanks. If it's one thing I think we can all agree on, is that Castle Crashers has bangers. Much of the music was created by the Newgrounds team, with the Behemoth contracting over 20 individuals for their tracks. Paladin himself scored 2 of the tracks in the game, which were Tricky Song and Barracks. The Newgrounds team are a tight community, sharing characters from their games such as Pink Knight being available in Team Meat's Super Meat Boy, which was another game that originated as a Flash game on Newgrounds. I've got so many Easter eggs that I've got high cholesterol. If you want to hear any more trivia and Easter eggs, then make sure this video has enough likes. The game smashed it at the 2008 Xbox Live Arcade Awards, as they won Best Co-op Mode, Best Original Game and Best of All, Game of the Year. Though this game wasn't perfect, as it suffered from a lot of technical issues.
Hitch, I've heard some reports of bugs and lag issues.
Where the players would struggle to find any available lobbies, or the game would often freeze when attempting to join someone else's server. There was also the issue of corrupted save files, causing players to lose any character progress. I couldn't imagine the pain.
There were some unforeseen network issues that never turned up in the testing phase, and some other issues that we are working on, so there will be a title update.
The team joined forces with Microsoft to fix these glitches and exploits, as well as resolving networking issues, and released a patch on the 24th of December 2008. The game would go on to further success, as it would be released on PlayStation 3 on the 31st of August 2010, which featured a new mini-game replacing All You Can Quaff with volleyball, similar to the mission of Desert Riptide. Sadly, the game suffered the same fate as the Xbox version, having awful connectivity issues, and unlike the Xbox's multi-account selection, you could only play with the characters from the players signed in. Oh, that's devastating. And so, after 7 long years of waiting, the Behemoth promised to fix these issues and gave us what we all wanted: Castle Crashers, the sequel! Oh, sorry, did I say sequel? What I was meant to say was remastered. What I was hoping for was a sequel. On the 15th of June 2015, the Behemoth announced Castle Crashers Remastered for the Xbox One, while Steam received it free as a form of a free update. But hey, look at the bright side. At least they released some new content.
A new multiplayer minigame called Back Off Barbarian that's frantic and weird.
Right, okay. I didn't play the other minigames much, but I can get behind that.
Texture sizes of the game are 5 times the size of the original game.
Typical remastered stuff, okay, I got it.
Runs at 60 frames per second, which feels like a slideshow if you go back to it after trying this new one.
I mean, sure, but that wasn't much of an issue anyway. Where's the DLC? Where's the added content? Give me some characters, weapons, anything! Due to popular demand, people wanted Castle Crashers on the PlayStation 4, but due to the company being such a small team and having limited resources, it wasn't in their plans to do so. But never say never with the Behemoth. 4 years later, the team teased pictures of Castle Crashers next to a Nintendo Switch and PlayStation Joy-Con, eventually confirming that the games would go on to be released for the consoles on the 17th of September 2019. The Switch version utilises HD Rumble, Switch Online, and supports 4-player local Joy-Con use. The PS4 version will display the player's character colour in the DualShock 4's light bar. Though again, we're left with more disappointment, as those were the only changes implemented into the game. In a blog post on the Behemoth website, Dan Paladin will go on to explain why they brought the game to 2 more platforms now. Well, aside from it being one of the most requested things we get asked, there's also some less obvious reasons. With Alien Hominid not being ported often, we've seen it slowly become unavailable in most places. When we make games, we want them to stick around. Taking advantage of the updated hardware of each generation is also very satisfying. Higher resolution, higher frame rates, chances to make tweaks, and better overall quality. The team released their 4th game, Pit People, on the 2nd of March 2018, which is a turn-based strategy game. They are now working on their 5th game. But wait, doesn't this company refuse to make sequels? Well, they state this is not a remastered or a sequel, but an original game.
Some people are saying, is it a remaster, is it a remake? It is not. It is a new game. It's still, you got your little alien, I guess we're covering.
fans of the company have wasted no opportunity to ask about the potential of Castle Crashers 2. So why not just make a quick cash grab and give us what we all want, especially with a development team so low in numbers. This would just do them well. And to answer that, it's simply because their hearts aren't into it. I know it's heartbreaking stuff, but the team behind the game is only a small team of under 10 people, and so when they are in progress of making a game, they put it all into it. In an interview with John Bass, co-founder of the Behemoth, stated that
our kind of motto in the company up to now has been to change the genre every time we do a new game, and mostly that's because of boredom. We work on a game for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and we decide, really what we should do is this type of game or that type of game. And so it's important for us to change it up in the studio to keep fresh and to explore things in a new way. If we had just done a sequel to Alien Hominid, there never would have been a Castle Crashers. Same thing, if there had been a Castle Crashers 2, there never would have been a Battle Block Theater.
As they are currently working on Alien Hominid Invasion, I think it'll be a while till we get to see Castle Crashers again, but the only way for that to happen is by making sure that this Alien Hominid Invasion is a success and support the company for their efforts. There may be a day where we get a Castle Crashers game, but it would be far different from the original, as the company don't like doing the same thing and enjoy mixing it up. So to answer your question, maybe. Probably yes, though it might not be the answer that you were wanting to hear. Things are still looking hopeful, and maybe one day we might get the sequel that we all want. If they ever did the sequel to the game, I'm kind of hoping that they do a female version. I just wanted to take a moment to thank the team at Behemoth for making such awesome games, and especially Tom Fulp, the founder of Newgrounds. This guy doesn't get the credit he deserves. So I'm gonna leave a video if you want to know more about him. So that's the video. If you could like, share and subscribe, that'll be nice of you. I'll see you next time. Peace! Success.